Plus in the States and on IFL TV worldwide. I'm sure everyone saw the Liverpool show last weekend. It was sold out. We're approaching a sellout again. There are a few tickets still remaining, so get those on mtkglobal.com while you still can. 140,000 views on IFL TV alone at last count for Liverpool, and we're expecting a similarly large audience. Liverpool's always been a very special fight city, and Lee's going to tell us why. I think the dance floors have just about been rebuilt since you were last here and burned them down with Nigel Travis. You love coming here, I know especially, so tell us a bit about why this place is so special in terms of boxing.
Liverpool's always been a great city for boxing. Obviously, plenty of big fighters like John Conte, obviously the Smith brothers, Aaron Rocky Fielding sitting next to us. It's always a great night of boxing. They're all mad as the boxer frogs, and the atmosphere is unbelievable. So I'm just looking forward to another good night in Liverpool.
Mentioned the York Cool card last weekend, which many saw as our biggest success, our best show so far. In a way, on paper, this one's even bigger though, isn't it? I mean, fewer titles are on the line, but the names are certainly more illustrious.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we've got Rocky Fielding's coming off the Canelo defeat. Obviously, four-time world title challenger Martin Murray, the Olympian Natasha Jonas. It's a massive card with some massive fighters on it. It's going to be good to promote Rocky Fielding because the first time I ever met him was in Germany for Darren Barker's world title fight. Was getting on the Jaeger bomb, so it's a lot different now to be sitting up here as the promoter for his next fight. So it's going to be a fantastic night. He's in a very good fight, and he's going to be I'm just looking forward to a great night of boxing.
Try and stay off the Jaegers the next couple of nights, please. First, we're going to discuss a real 50-50 domestic clash. We've got the unbeaten Jed Carroll, who's very popular in these parts, shown a lot of skills in building his record to this point. He's up against the former Southern Area champion in Jeffrey Afori, who we're going to hear from first. Jeff, big chance, big stage. Tell us a bit about how you got here, and you must be thrilled.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for having me here. It's a great opportunity. I got the fight, my last fight I had a 10 rounder. It didn't go to plan, but it didn't take nothing out of me, so I'm ready. And to have a fight 6 weeks later against another unbeaten guy, I'm fully focused and I want to give everything in the ring. I know what their game plan is going to be. They know I'm going to come forward, fight, aggressive. They're going to try to keep me on their jab, keep me away, but I'm coming in no matter what he does. It's going to be an entertaining fight.
Great stuff. Have you been impressed so far with what you've seen of Jed? He's building a record and an impressive following at the same time. So, what do you make of him as a fighter, and how do you combat his natural skills technically?
I've seen, I think, his last 2 fights or last 3 fights. I can see he's tall for the weight, the big guy. He hasn't got any stoppages, but that doesn't mean nothing. Obviously, when you get in there, you know if you can punch or not. I know he likes to move around. He fought the same guy I fought in my 8th fight, so I can't really use that to gauge it. But at the end of the day, he's good and I'm good. That's why we're here. So I'm going to show who I am in the ring, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. On to Jed. Jed, this is a key step up for you, and it's happening at home. So do you expect the crowd to play any part in this? Will Jeffrey maybe feel the noise a bit in there?
Yeah, good fight, mate. Obviously, being at Liverpool and being in your hometown, everyone's going to be behind me. Jeff's a top fighter. Didn't go his way last time out, but you know, he took another fight. He could have took a step back and tried to build on his career, but he's turned up here and it's going to be a great fight. He's going to come forward. He's assuming I'm going to be on the back foot behind the jab, but we'll see fight night and it'll be a cracking fight. I'm really looking forward to it.
Are you saying you might actually go forward and meet him, play fire with fire there? Because I think a lot of people expect you to try and use your technical ability, but it sounds like we're in for a bit more quicker work than that.
Well, people assume I'm just a boxer, so come fight night we'll see. I suppose it's all about giving the fans a good fight and I'm really looking forward to it and can't wait for Friday.
Thanks very much, Jill. If you could just pass the mic down to Blaine, that would be great. Blaine Highland is an elite talent, Team GB boy, and there's a lot of people in the boxing business who are very excited to see him make his debut. I'm one of them, and there's a bit of star quality about him, very skilled. Blaine, I guess you've been, as we mentioned, boxing on a high level as an amateur. Pro game is different, it'll be broadcast around the world, stateside as well. Are the nerves that you're going to feel actually a healthy thing? Are you looking forward to that slight maybe fear factor of making a debut?
Well, yeah, I'm excited today and making pro debut, definitely in front of all the fans in Liverpool. I'm not a fear factor as I say, but you know, just trained hard, we've put everything into the gym the last 7 weeks. Obviously, we knew we were fighting in Liverpool, so I'm just looking forward to putting a show on Friday night and getting my journey started.
And how inspiring, Lee mentioned some massive names that have come out of this city and the surrounding area with Conte, Bellew and some local Rocky Fielding. How inspiring is it to be from here and to have a chance to sort of follow in those footsteps? Is it something you draw a lot of strength from?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just at the start now, so you know, I look up to these type of fighters and I look forward to seeing how my future's going to turn out. So yeah, I'm excited.
Thanks very much, Blaine. We look forward to seeing you make your debut on a big stage. A lot as expected, I'm sure you're going to deliver. Good luck. On now to Tasha Jonas, who's already cemented her status as perhaps the Queen of Liverpool in a way. I remember you mentioning you didn't get the chance to box here much as an amateur, but as a professional you seem to be turning the place into a bit of a fortress, which I guess every queen needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's as everyone's, like I'm just echoing what everyone else is saying, it's always good to box at home, you know. So many times as an amateur, you're away and you're out of the city, you're out of the country, that you never actually get to box at home with people cheering for you. And sometimes it adds a little bit of pressure because you want to perform in front of your own, but it's good to box here, and you know, the support we get is unreal. The support I've had from the career, from the first day I put on a set of books has been unmatchable anywhere else.
You're up against a Hungarian, I believe, called Bianca Michlath. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Half of her fights have ended in KO victories, so is someone that has a lot of confidence in their power and is probably going to come straight at you. Is that going to suit you on the night?
Yeah, she's a little bit heavy, a little bit. She's had a few knockouts, but so have I, so it doesn't make any difference. Whoever's in every movie, but it's got to lose.
You're on the same bill as Martin and Rocky. I spoke to you the other day, you said you've got a lot of history with those guys there. How exciting is it to sort of be reunited and get to approach this as a team?
Yeah, I think I went on one of my first England trips with Martin. And obviously I was in the Liverpool club with Rocky, so yeah, but I don't think I've ever boxed since then on a show with them, and it'd be good to do so.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Tash. We look forward to that fight. We're going to move on to Martin now. Actually, we'll hear from Jamie Moore first, his trainer. That's probably best. Jamie, you're obviously very close with Martin, and speaking to him more and more these days, he seems very zen. He's sort of got this new mindset. He's very calm and very relaxed and very sort of content with what's happening around him in his own future.
That's a big part of our training routine is Zen. You start off every session with Zen, I think.
Is that what you call it?
I use that in the crack, but it's the same.
All jokes aside, how do you assess his mindset these days? We know the frustrations he's had and probably should have won a world title already. He seems to be over that mentally and only thinking about the future rather than the past.
Yeah, he definitely should have won a world title by now. I don't think anyone disputes that. He's got a lot of experience, but you know, even though he's nearly as old as God now, I think he's still relatively fresh. You know, he's had big gaps in between fights, which you probably get a chance to recover and stuff like that. So when you're still quite fresh, but you've got all the experience, you know, experience is key, I believe, at the top level. So if Mark can get another opportunity, I'm sure he'll grab it with both hands. This fight's a super middleweight, but he sort of seems like he's in between. I think he can still make middle. So if the opportunity's come, I think he's enjoying it more now because there's no pressure. He's not gunning for world titles or feeling like this is it. He's just doing it for the pure enjoyment of it. And I think you perform better then, you relax more and you get the best out of yourself.
And how important a figure is he in that gym, especially for the younger fighters, with all his experience? What examples does he set and advice can you give?
Well, it's similar to what United are missing at the minute, where you look at that, someone like a Roy Keane or someone where what controls your team, and City have just lost it with Vincent Kompany. Martin Murray's our sort of stalwart where he leads by example, he's so experienced. I always say to the young, so I've got a young lad who's like 3 fights like he has, I always say to him, come in and sit, train early, sit and watch the rest of the training, and just pick up the stuff what the more experienced lads do, because all that stuff that you picked up over the years, those little tricks what you do on the inside, the spine and stuff like that, a young lad picking up and bringing it into his game earlier on, maybe more so than what even Martin learned in his career, can only stand you in good stead. So it's always good, we've got a wealth of experience at the top level in our team, in Rocky, even Jack Carroll, Tommy Coyle, and he's got a lot of experience. So the younger people coming through can all learn from that. You can only ever learn, you don't necessarily have to be taught it as in words, you can just sit back and watch and take it all on board.
Fantastic. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if you're watching, we can give you Martin Murray's number.
Everybody in midfield.
Soldier midfield problems. Martin, we'll start with your opponent. It's a live opponent. He's going to come and win. He's probably going to come and try and take your head off. What are you expecting in terms of a test here?
Yeah, I'm obviously saying he can punch a bit, so he's a bit wild, but he's not really forced anybody, it's alright knocking a lot of people out if you're knocking puddings out, you know what I mean? So I think he's knocked 21 out of 25 out, and like I said, he's wild, but I'll be going in there, won't be putting my chin out for him, and he's fighting somebody who's at a completely different level to him, so I plan on going in there and fighting showing him that.
We've mentioned that you fought at such a high level before. Obviously sick of hearing about the world titles that should have been and moving on. What are your goals for the next 6 to 12 months in terms of what you want to achieve in the sport?
I don't know if I said this at the last press conference, but this is the first year I started the year with no expectations, and the first year I've had no plan. The plan is there isn't a plan. So I'm just going out learning our boxing because I still can, I enjoy it, and I'm doing it because I want to rather than I feel like I have to. Like I said, the expectation of winning a world title for me is gone. It was another day. I look back now and I won in a good, even though I was in a good mindset and I was training, because I was training like a madman. In some respects, it wasn't the best way to train. Like I said, the obsession's gone. It's quite liberating for me. I feel good. So anything now for me is a bonus.
Fantastic, Martin. We look forward to another high-quality clash against Jan Janine. Onto the headline now. We're going to hear from Rocky Fielding's opponent, Abdallah Pazi. Is that?
Yeah, I'll do the trainer. I'll do the talking.
Great, thank you for coming. 23 knockouts from 33 fights is an impressive record for anyone. So, much like Martin, Rocky has a very serious test on his hands here. So I'd just like to start by obviously welcoming Abdallah and his team. But the first question, I guess, is how excited are you to be representing Tanzania, and how could victory over Rocky Fielding change Abdallah's career?
First of all, he received this opportunity, and he will come. He wants to box Rock Fielding, and he's going to give a good fight.
It could be a question of who hits harder if both men are going to come forward, because Rocky's strength, a lot of people think, is his power. So who hits harder in this fight?
Still can meet in the ring.
It's what, sorry?
We can meet in the ring.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Abdel. We'll hear from Rocky now. I can just grab the mic. Yeah. Rocky, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's going to look to come and trade. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
For him?
Yeah, you wanted to trade, you leave yourself open and walk onto one man, so he does come to have a goal, and as Miles says, his opponent, he hasn't fought anyone for all their stoppages, but they've all been in the canteen and sardine somewhere, just patting about, so his defeats have been with good opposition when he's moved from his area, so and the guy they've lost to, I think I'll beat them, so but I've been saying that for him, since we got put to, we've been working on a lot of stuff for Jamie on shots that we can do damage on, so but he is game, he's game, but I think I'm a class 2 above.
And talk to us about how preparation has been different. Last time you were seen in the boxing ring, everyone knows you fought a pound-for-pound king in Canelo, someone who might go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Madison Square Garden, huge thing. This is a homecoming that A, you've earned, and B, must be very special for you in your heart to sort of come home having done that and now fight for the people of Liverpool.
Oh, definitely. My career started in the Olympia when I got the phone call for prize fight, the 5 days notice, and it was in the Olympia. I won the prize fight there. I've won the English title there. I've won the Commonwealth title there. So is a special place for me. I used to drive past there when I first started turning pro. I'd love to fight there one day, and then obviously all the calls came in, and early on in my career I've won all my titles there, and so it is special. The first fight since 2017, the last was in the Echo, where I won the British King Trophy, so it's exciting, it's good. The support, it's only like a small arena, but if like 10,000 there, the sound, when it's filmed, it's a great place, so it's a great card to be on with all the people on here, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy that I'm back in the ring, and I say the last fight was massive and that, but I'm happy with this, and just get the fight done, get on with the kids, and then that's it, go again for the next one.
Fantastic. I'm sure the whole city's going to come out and welcome home one of its favourite fighting sons on the night. We'll end with a word from Jamie on Rocky, if that's okay. Jamie, we saw some footage earlier in the week of you wearing a massive bodysuit and Rocky bringing you to your knees with a couple of lefts to the body. Now, I know Nigel said he dropped you loads of times.
You went there, it went down, but I didn't.
Well, Travis said he used to drop you to the body all the time, inspiring.
I listen to him.
You know better than anyone, having been in the ring and felt him on the pads, how much is left in Rocky fielding? Because some might say, seeing as he just climbed to the top of the sport, what's left to do? But you know the drive and the determination.
Well, yeah, when you've won a world title, I think the big test then is how much hunger and desire you've got. You can generally tell initially when they first come back into the gym, the effort they're putting in, the amount of determination they've got, and that's certainly not waned. If anything, it's increased, because I think Rocky feels like he's got a point to prove. He's still young enough to compete and win world titles. To me, watching him sparring and stuff and the things he's doing in the gym, he's took that experience on board and used it and used it to improve. So he's doing better stuff now sparring than he was previously to when he won the world title in Germany. So again, he's still fresh and young enough to make those little improvements. He's not going to make massive improvements at 32, but you know, small percentages make big difference at the world level. So, so there's definitely room for a bit of growth there. But using that experience and implementing those changes at the right times and stuff, you know, your decision making is massive. So I think even though these sort of fights are potential banana skins, you know, you've got fighters coming over you don't know much about. On record, it looks like he's a puncher, but you really don't know until you get in there. Rocky should go in there and look good and win impressively, and then we can move forward. But you can't take it out of the body. You've really got to take these guys seriously and go in there and do the job what everyone expects you to do without any slip-ups.
Fantastic. Well, that wraps up nicely. Thanks to all the fighters and Jamie. Again, we're live on ESPN Plus in the States and IFL TV worldwide. There are very few tickets left, so I want to point down the IFL TV camera barrel. You buy a ticket. But yeah, not many left. It's going to be packed. Great night in Prospect. I'm shaking hand. We're going to do a couple of face-offs now with the 4 opponents, and we'll be back at Derry's gym tomorrow, 1 PM on the scales for the weigh-in. Thanks again for coming. Cheers.